Turn it on. Probably an operator.
It's on now.
It stayed then. It just took, it just took somebody a lot smarter than me in technology to come in here and to let me know what was going on. All right. Oh man, let's check our time. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started tonight. I'm glad so everybody didn't migrate to the other classes. I'm happy y'all stayed in here to listen a little bit. So we're going to start out a little bit. I'll give you I guess what we're going to do tonight. We'll recap a little bit. I keep saying a little bit. I don't know why I keep saying that. We're going to recap for a little while, and then we're going to go into some scientific methods, some philosophies, and theories. So, in having said that, tonight will probably be the most boring lesson out of the whole series, if you're not really into science. This kind of goes into what science thinks, how we disprove science, what's wrong with the scientific methods to date the earth and fossils and I guess things like that. So if you have any questions, I printed out the timeline that I created. I printed out like 15, 20 copies and forgot it at my work. So I will have them back on the thing in the back there next week if any of y'all would like to see it. Once again, the dates are not set in stone, but just kind of a reminder of last week. The goal for last week is for the church members to have a better understanding of science and the Bible in relation to how old the earth is. So we kind of started out how, I guess you'd say, Christianity is not the front runner, especially as a young, I would say a young person in this class. It's not really I don't really know how to put it. I guess my feedback was a lot of younger people struggle with this because people my age, this is what we grew up learning. And this is what we in the school systems and what I've been taught, and the earth is this amount. And I actually had a lot of people reach out to me, or I wouldn't say a lot, but a lot of people came up to me and said, hey, I had no idea the earth was 6,000 years old. Didn't really know that it mattered. But hey, that's cool. That's awesome. So we kind of started with Matthew 7, 13, 14, enter by the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the path that leads to destruction. And there are many ways. There are many who go in by it, because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. So that was just kind of going into science and how they, I guess it's a narrow gate, and there's a lot of people that's going to lead you down that path of destruction. We talked about syncretism in 2 Kings when the Syrians, combined their ways of, of worshiping with the Lord. That was our word of last week, is syncretism. So, and how the Lord sent lions and killed people. And the next we went over is why Christianity even matters. Why does this stuff even matters? And we went over John chapter 4, 16 through 26. And the example was the woman who asked Jesus, what mountain do we worship on? She could have asked Jesus anything at that time, but instead it was what mountain do we worship on? And that was kind of the whole point of how some people get caught up on little things, like me or other people, that just, it really bothers them. I'm a person that if I'm either all the way in or all the way out. There's no in between. I'm a full sin kind of guy, I guess you'd say. So, we used that. We went over the chart. We went over in Genesis. We read Genesis 1 through 5, or chapter 1 through 5. We kind of defined what a day was, and how there's no difference in a day and what was then and what was now. We went over some commonly asked questions, such as how long were Adam and Eve in the garden, and so forth. So, out of all that, that's our recap. We kind of went into the earth was 6,000 years old. I did have 3 or 4 people ask, or at least I wouldn't say ask, they inquired, well, what about the lifespan of the people in the Bible? It is hard for me to wrap my brain around that. I guess people lived hundreds of years. That's still, it's still difficult for me, but I mean, once again, I just have to have faith in the Lord. I know in Genesis chapter 6:3 states that, and the Lord said, "My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years." So that was Jesus depicting how old people will live. So that was kind of like a food for thought. So tonight we're going to kind of get into the old theory and the old earth theory and the new earth theory and what scientists think. And this is why it may be fairly, I guess, boring if you're not really into science. So my goal for tonight, I got it written down. My goal is for the church to have a better understanding of scientific methods and how they compare with the Bible. A little bit similar from last week, but we're actually getting into the methods and going to kind of prove what is right and what is wrong. So we're going to start with the old earth theory tonight, and we're going to go with the theoretical problem. So in science, I guess, I learned at a very young age, no one will ever say nothing, or no one ever say something comes from nothing. I've been taught my whole life that there always has to be a cause, there always has to be an effect. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. I kind of copied the law of conservation of mass. Matter can change through physical and chemical changes, but through any of these changes, matter is conserved. The same amount of matter exists before and after the change, and none can be created or destroyed. This is the law of conservation of mass. So this is a big this is a definition that scientists use, saying this, I guess, this desk right here, this little piece of speck of dust can't become this desk. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Matter has always been and always will be, and it is what it is. So, in having said that, scientists say that, but the only time they try to throw the law of conservation of mass out is the creation. No scientist has ever been able to, I guess, accurately depict where the earth came from. There's the Big Bang, but the Big Bang